Hey guys, this is Tim with THB Fishing for Recovery. Tonight we're going to start on step 4. And before we get started on step 4, this is where we find out just how honest we're going to really be to ourselves. That's the problem that an addict has, is being honest to himself. And step 4 is all about cleaning out your closet and getting rid of all the clutter. And it must be a real importance, probably one of the most important steps it is. You know, each and every one of them is important in its own way, but this is the only one that actually repeats itself. So right now I'm going to read it to you and read just a little bit about it in the big book, in the NA big book. Step 4. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Okay, the purpose of a searching and fearless moral inventory is to sort through the confusion and the contradiction of our lives so that we can find out who we really are. We're starting a new way of life and need to get rid of all the burdens and traps that control us and keeps us from growing. As we approach this step, most of us are afraid that there is a monster inside of us that if released will destroy us. And that goes back to that fear part. And the fear, we've just got to have faith in that step 3 where we made a decision to turn our will and life over to care of God as we understood Him. Okay, this fear can cause us to put our inventory or may even prevent us from taking this crucial step at all. We have found that fear is a lack of faith. And we have found a loving personal God to whom we can turn. No longer do we need to be afraid. And you know, that's one of those character defects that I have, because I'm afraid every time I make some kind of decision that it's going to be the wrong one. And you know, every decision that we make, all our choices, they affect every part of our life. We have been experts at self-deception and realization. By writing our inventory, we can overcome these obstacles. A written inventory will unlock part of our subconscious that remains hidden, and we simply think about or talk about who we are. Once it is all down on paper, it is much easier to see and much harder to deny the truth, our true nature. Honest self-assessment is one of the keys to our new way of life. Let's face it, when we were not honest with ourselves. We're becoming honest with ourselves when we admit that addiction has defeated us and we need help. It took a long time to admit that we were beaten. We found that we do not recover physically, mentally, or spiritually overnight. Step 4 will help us move towards our recovery. Most of us find that we were neither as terrible or wonderful as we were supposed. As we are surprised to find that we have good points in our inventory, anyone who has some time in the program and has worked this step will tell you that the 4th step was the turning point of their lives. That's where you just see how honest you're going to be with yourself. And when you clean that closet out, you can sleep a lot better at night. And I had so many skeletons in my closet that, you know, I've worked this, I don't know how many times, but way more than probably 100. But I constantly work step 4 and step 10. Okay? To have the faith and courage to write a fearless moral inventory, step 1, 2, and 3 are necessarily preparation. We go over the first 3 steps with a sponsor just to get comfortable, so when we, you know, you build that trust with your sponsor. And the first sponsor that I had was probably the best that I'll ever have. And by the way, he relapsed and died when he relapsed. And he was such a good sponsor when he was in recovery. But and I don't know, you know, this disease, it don't take any, you know, it won't let you go. You got it from the day you're born or you activate it till the day you die. We don't get over this disease. The day we get over this is the day they throw dirt on top of us. And, you know, it's a fight every day. So you have to just, you know, live the process every single day. And I think that relapse is where we let our guard down, and it's so easy to think we got this now. And I'm going to read, I wrote some stuff out of another NA book about this step 4. Okay, I'm going to read step 4 again. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Okay, there's three parts to step 4. That this is how you clean your closet out: resentment, fears, sexual misconduct, harm done to others. Okay, now I'm gonna read you step 10. It says we continued to take a personal inventory, and we were wrong. We promptly admitted it. So, you know, these steps, you don't work them one time and think that's it. You have to, you get a sponsor and you work them, and you work them again, and you work them again, and work them again. And I know when I first come to recovery, I did the 90 meetings in 90, actually I did 120 and 90, 120 meetings in 90 days. And I got so tired of the readings, because by the time you do 120 meetings, you've got it memorized. You don't even need the paper. And every program that I've been in prison, they made you memorize the steps. And as long as it's been, since, you know, I've been out of prison for 5 years now. And so actually the last program was probably 6. But because I was at work release, but I did do NA meetings and AA meetings at the work release. That was part of the stipulation of being at work release. And but it wasn't as intense as being in a substance abuse program, you know, behind the fence, where, you know, you're trying to get out and do anything you can to, you know, to follow the rules if you wanted to come home. And believe me, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. So, you know, I'm continuously, I'm studying more now probably than I did whenever I started in my recovery. I'm trying to get a routine every night before I go to bed. I read so many pages in the book, and because I preach the book. When somebody asks me how I've made it this long in recovery, is I do everything. It says we rarely have we ever seen anybody fail. That, you know, if you do everything in this book that the book tells you to do, you won't fail, you know. So, and I'm not going back. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when you work step 4, you need to make sure that you know, you've got to get honest, and that building that trust with your sponsor. Sponsor is so important. You know, I actually right now, I don't have one, but I got 5 people that I call on a regular basis that is kind of like an acting sponsor for me. And I'm trying to get me a sponsor right now. Actually, I found somebody, but I'm waiting on them to get time for us to work these steps again. I want to work it with them. And, you know, my first sponsor was named Barry. And Barry was a professional drug counselor. So, you know, he really knew this program. And I don't care how good you know this program. No matter knowing it and not using it and practicing it every single day you know, you're setting yourself up for failure, because you don't get a day off in recovery. And, you know, when I go out, where I find my inner peace and I can really concentrate on my recovery is, like, get my thoughts together, is out on the lake fishing. And that's why, one of the reasons I started this video. But just remember, anybody in your family that's in recovery, they don't get a day off. Like Christmas, they still in recovery on Christmas morning when you're passing out gifts. Or, you know, New Year's or 4th of July. And you know, we want to take a day off. You know, being a society, you know, we're lazy. So whatever you do never drop your guard. And I know in my heart that, you know, building that really good foundation for my recovery has kept me clean all this time. And with that, I'm going to let you go tonight, and we'll start on step 5 here probably next week. I'm working a lot of overtime right now. And, you know, the weather it's raining, it's crazy. And the river's high and muddy and logs floating. And, you know, so hopefully soon I'm going to start editing these videos. You know, I've got a good camera and everything. And we're going to get some fishing videos up where I've already got 5 or 6 people lined up to tell their story. It's just trying to get the weather and the fish to cooperate with us. And I want to thank you guys for listening. And I'm going to quit rambling and let you go. I love you. Pray for me, and thanks for listening. And if you don't mind, please follow, like, or subscribe. Remember, we're on Facebook or TikTok. I know a lot, and YouTube channel. But I know a lot of you guys, a lot of these young people are on this TikTok, and I hadn't really figured it out yet, but I'm working on it. With that, I appreciate you guys, and you guys have a good night.